isn't public access in here.
Yeah, but I'm in conversation with a
I know, but this isn't a public access area, so you can just head out into here for me.
I'm in the middle of a conversation. This is so that I can have a private conversation. Yeah, but I'm having a private conversation with him.
Okay, you're not at the minute though, so if you could just head out on here, because this is a private room. Thank you very much.
Sure. Right, what's your name again, sorry?
As I said, Tony.
Tony and Lucy, was it?
Yeah.
Right,
Correct.
and you're 8013,
7536.
and you want to know how I managed to get through there?
Yeah.
Why are you so curious about that?
See, are you not going to tell us? I mean, ultimately we can look at the cameras. If you can tell us, that would just be quicker for everyone involved, wouldn't it?
Well, I don't see what I need to tell you.
Okay, well we'll wait.
Why are you so curious about that then?
Because it's a locked room, that's all.
Maybe I've got superpowers.
Do we know who can access the cameras in the front office? Staff, I don't know.
The officers reacted as if Brett had slipped through high-tech security, when in reality, all he did was push open an unlocked, unmarked door. In premises law and basic policing standards, that distinction is crucial. If there's no sign, no lock, and no indication of restricted access, a member of the public has no reason to believe they aren't allowed to enter. Brett didn't force anything, didn't break anything, and didn't ignore any warning, because none existed. The responsibility for keeping a room private falls on the organization, not on the public. If officers wanted that space to stay off limits, they should have secured it. They didn't, and that oversight is procedural failure, not criminal behavior. Instead of acknowledging their own mistake, they escalated the situation by scrambling to check CCTV, trying to piece together a narrative after the fact. That defensive posture is exactly how a simple oversight turned into unnecessary drama.
Have you just come out of custody?
No.
No.
Well, I did go and see custody.
You want to go see her?
Yeah, I was just having a look round.
Did they help you?
Well, she opened the door for me. But I was having a look round.
I think we just need to make sure that this door is secure, that's really...
Yeah.
Because you're not committing any offences, so we just
No.
need to make sure that the door is secure, that's all. I wonder if it's just been left slightly...
But that's just a private room, isn't it? So you can have a private conversation rather than having a public one, isn't it?
Into it, were you? I'm out of the police station. Don't want you in the police station.
Why not? It's a public building.
I think you've got bail conditions not to be in them.
No, I haven't.
You've got a CBO condition, have you not?
No.
Why have you got it?
Nothing at all.
Calm down.
What's CBO stand for?
Criminal behavioural order.
No, I haven't.
My colleague's just going to get some details. And we'll work it out from there.
How are you? How can I not be allowed to go in a police station then? It's like not being allowed in a hospital if you had a road accident or something. If I've got business to be in here.
The male officer blocks Brett from re-entering the police station, a public building, based purely on his own assumption. I think you've got a CBO. He hasn't confirmed anything, hasn't waited for the colleague checking Brett's details, and yet he acts as though his guess is established fact. That's not how authority works. You cannot deny someone access to public services on a hunch, especially when the individual is clearly explaining that they're waiting for a specific officer they were already speaking with. That a criminal behavior order is a serious post-conviction court order that imposes strict legal restrictions on where a person can go and what they can do. It's not something you think someone has. It must be verified, because getting it wrong means unlawfully blocking an innocent person from rights and services they're entitled to. This kind of guesswork isn't just careless, it's potentially unlawful.
What's your business to be in there?
Well, I have got business to be in there.
What's your business?
I'm inquiring and following up about an illegal arrest.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that remains to be seen, doesn't it?
What, as to whether it was illegal or not? You know my name, do you?
Yeah.
Because obviously that gentleman in there, who's very polite actually and very helpful, he knows who I am. What would happen if I went in the police station then?
You'll be breaching whatever order it is that you've been given.
Well, I haven't been given any orders. When you get, just tell me how you get given the order, because as far as I know, there's no order. But how would it have been presented? In some sort of document form, wouldn't it?
Usually, yeah.
And I'd have had a bit of paper or a bit of writing on there saying...
Or you may have been to court.
No, I haven't been to court. Only in jury service. I'm allowed in the police station until you can prove that otherwise, can't I?
Brett ends up doing the officer's job for him, and his reasoning is flawless. If a criminal behavior order actually exists, it doesn't appear out of thin air. It comes from a court, it's formally recorded, and, most importantly, it must be served. That means you would have stood in front of a magistrate or been officially notified, and you'd have paperwork clearly outlining the restrictions. By calmly asking, how would I receive it? Would I have been given documents? Brett forces the officer into a corner. If none of that ever happened, then either they've got the wrong person or there is no order at all. Before an officer can lawfully block someone from entering a public building, the bare minimum should be correctly establish identity using full and accurate personal details. Run the system to check whether a live CBO actually exists for that individual. Confirm service and the specific terms of the order. That's the standard. Code A and Code G require policing to be evidence-led, not guest-driven. Acting first and checking later isn't procedure. It's negligence.
For the moment, no, because we don't want you in there just at the moment.
Why not?
Because we believe that you're breaching a community order.
Community order?
Yeah.
How else would the community order work then? So, for example, would it be for like antisocial behaviour or...
I believe so. I haven't seen the order myself.
Yeah, there would be. What I'm getting at is there would be a reason, would there, as to why you're not allowed to do something. Is that right? Yeah, and that would be down there as well. What sort of things could you be given that sort of?
There's a multitude of things.
Oh, go on. These are what I'm interested in. Hiya.
Hello. Can I just confirm your name is Julian?
Some people call me that, yeah.
Okay, fine. Julian, the time is 1:15 p.m. I'm arresting you on suspicion of breaching your community protection order by being in less than 100 metres from a police station. I'm also arresting you on suspicion of being found in an enclosed premises. Do not have to say anything that may harm defence. You do not mention one question, something which later will lie in court. Anything you do say may be given evidence. Do you understand what that means?
Yeah.
So you're under arrest now, so you're not allowed to.
When she asks, your name's Julian? Brett answers honestly with, some people call me that. That should have been her signal to slow down and verify his actual identity properly. Full legal name, correct spelling, date of birth, and the standard confirmation checks. Basic policing. Instead, she treats an informal nickname as if it were a confirmed legal identity and barrels straight into an arrest. What follows is a full-scale procedural meltdown. She claims he's breaching a community protection order, then tries to bolt on a charge of being found in an enclosed premises. But that collapses instantly under her own explanation of the situation. The room wasn't locked, wasn't marked, and wasn't restricted. Her own words undermine the accusation she's relying on. It wasn't law. It wasn't evidence. It was an officer making it up on the fly and hoping off.
What happened was I was arrested. They used force against me and put me in cuffs and bent my fingers back. They stuck me into the back of the police van and took me around to the custody place where I was told that I'd breached a behavioural order and I'd got into a secure area. Well, I protested my innocence and they looked into it and discovered that they had arrested the wrong person, that there's another person with my name and date of birth who has a behavioural order against them, and they thought that that was me, and like I say, arrested me for it. And then this secure area I got into, well, the door was ajar. It's in the public foyer where you have a private conversation with the police staff.
Brett was dragged into custody as if he were some dangerous criminal. All on the basis of an identity they never even bothered to verify. The moment he arrived, the truth collapsed almost instantly. The individual they were actually looking for happened to share his name and date of birth, but wasn't Brett at all. That fact alone exposes how carelessly the officers acted. They arrested a completely innocent man on nothing more than a hunch. No verification, no due diligence, and none of the basic safeguards meant to prevent exactly this kind of misidentification. Then came the final humiliation. They alleged he had entered a restricted area. Yet even in custody, they had to concede what Brett had been saying from the beginning. The door wasn't locked. It wasn't even secured. It was ajar. And for good reason. It was the public privacy room, a space intentionally available for members of the public to speak privately with staff. By the time custody officers realized he was entirely innocent, the harm was already done. An unlawful arrest, unnecessary pain from the handcuffs, and a complete breakdown of professionalism from start to finish.
Police station now. I had a legitimate reason to be in there. I wanted to talk to them about the previous case. Guys in the custody suite, to be fair, are nice guys. Big up Graham in the custody, but they released me saying they'd checked the CCTV footage and seen that the door was ajar, and I just pushed the door open and went in, so it wasn't a secure area. So that's that really. Pretty shocking to get arrested though for that, isn't it?
Brett's own response sums up the entire situation better than any analysis ever could. Someone asked how, in 2025, police can still arrest the wrong man inside their own station. And Brett's answer shut the whole conversation down. £7,000 plus legal fees, taking the total to over £20,000. And that figure says everything. You don't hand over more than 20 grand unless the arrest was so blatantly indefensible that settling is the only way to avoid a public embarrassment. This wasn't a small mistake. It was a catastrophic one. So bad the only damage control was to quietly funnel taxpayer money into a payout and hope no one pays attention to how shambolic the whole incident really was. What makes it even more unbelievable is how easily the whole thing could have been avoided. Brett wasn't behaving aggressively, he wasn't causing issues, and he wasn't trying to access restricted areas. He simply walked into an unlocked, unmarked privacy room, a room meant for the public, that the police themselves failed to secure. Instead of treating him like a visitor waiting to speak to an officer, they treated him like a fugitive caught mid-escape. When the mistaken identity started to crumble, the officers had multiple chances to pause and reassess. Brett even asked completely reasonable questions. How would I receive this order? What documentation would there be? And each one was a glaring hint that they had the wrong man. But rather than step back and think, they doubled down. One minute the officer admits he hasn't committed any offense. The next, she's handcuffing him for 2 offenses she knows he didn't commit. And the ending confirms exactly what this was. A payout exceeding £20,000 once fees were included. The kind of settlement forces only offer when they know they have absolutely no defense. Brett got justice, and rightfully so. But the public ended up footing the bill for an entirely preventable series of failures. Another reminder that competence in policing isn't optional. It's essential. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps support the channel and keeps independent coverage alive. Also, check out Brett Chamberlain. His channel is linked in the description, so go show him some support. Thanks for watching. This was Rate the Audit, and I'll see you in the next one.